Hey guys, it's Miss Medic here with another rheumatology video. Today I'm going to talk about scleroderma. Scleroderma translates as hard skin. You may ask, why does the skin harden in scleroderma? This is because it is an autoimmune disease where there is upregulation of cytokines which lead to the accumulation of collagen, and it is this collagen that causes the hardening of the skin. Scleroderma and systemic sclerosis are often used interchangeably. Scleroderma is a rare condition but a serious one. Like most rheumatological conditions, females are more commonly affected than males. There is a ratio of 4:1. If we look at the underlying pathology in scleroderma, we will see that there is widespread vascular damage. This involves small arteries, arterioles, and capillaries. There is release of endothelin-1, which causes vasoconstriction. When we think of scleroderma, it is often divided into limited cutaneous systemic sclerosis and diffuse cutaneous systemic sclerosis. Limited will involve the hands, face, and feet, and it is associated with the antibody anti-centromere. This is a common question in exams about antibodies associated with different rheumatological diseases. We must remember that limited is anti-centromere antibody. I remember this by LAC. So L in limited, A, C in anti-centromere, and I have added on the K. And LAC and limited basically mean the same thing. If you're limited in something, you lack the same thing. So they're pretty synonymous, and this helps me remember that limited systemic sclerosis is associated with anti-centromere. Limited systemic sclerosis is more common than diffuse sclerosis in that it makes up 70% of cases. Limited systemic sclerosis was previously known as CREST syndrome. And another way to remember that the antibody is anti-centromere is to think C is present in CREST and anti-centromere. So whatever works for you. CREST syndrome is a useful way to look at limited systemic sclerosis, as CREST in itself is a mnemonic for the symptoms of limited systemic sclerosis. So the C stands for calcinosis, and this refers to calcium deposits under the skin, particularly under the fingernails. R for Raynaud's phenomenon, which is colour change in the fingers when exposed to cold, and the colour change is typically white to blue to red. E for esophageal dysmotility, and the patient may have difficulty swallowing or symptoms of reflux. And S is sclerodactyly, which is stiff fingers. So as you can imagine, when the skin tightens, there will be loss of function and movement of the fingers. And T is telangiectasia, which is dilated small blood vessels under the skin. So what is the difference between limited and diffuse systemic sclerosis? Well, diffuse systemic sclerosis includes the features of CREST syndrome plus its effects on internal organs, and the three principal organs affected are the lung, kidney, and heart. In the lung, there may be pulmonary hypertension and interstitial lung disease. In the kidney, there may be glomerulonephritis, and in the heart, cardiovascular disease. So what happens when scleroderma strikes? Well, probably the first change that can be identified is the Raynaud's phenomenon, which is colour change in the fingers, which often occurs when exposed to cold, and the colour change is white to blue to red. And this is typically the first symptom. You'll also get hardening of the skin, which occurs in the early stages, and the skin will become tight and puffy and lose its normal skin folds. How can it be diagnosed? Well, clinically you will see the signs and symptoms on the patient, the hard, shiny skin, but also you need to look for the antibodies. 90% of patients with scleroderma will have anti-nuclear antibodies, but these are not unique to scleroderma and are found in other conditions. As I've said before, anti-centromere is present in limited systemic sclerosis, and anti-topoisomerase 1 antibody is found in diffuse systemic sclerosis. So you may be wondering at this stage, what is the treatment for this condition? Well, we must treat the complications that occur. For example, in the gastrointestinal symptom, there's dysphagia and reflux, so it's worthwhile giving a proton pump inhibitor to someone with this condition. In renal disease, ACE inhibitors may be useful, and dilators such as phosphodiesterase type 5 inhibitors may be used to stop vasospasm in the hands. So it's just treating the complications as they arise. So this concludes my video on scleroderma. Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.